Learners, last time we stopped at, when we were learning about energy, we stopped at what we call as the energy transformation. And today we are going to start on what we call as energy conservation. Energy conservation. So, as I was saying, we are starting on conservation of energy because last time we covered up to energy transformation. This one, when you check in your primary science standard 8, it's running from page 147 to page 159. So this one here is talking about when you are using energy, how can you make sure that the energy you are using is used in a good way without any wastage. So energy conservation is just to use energy without any spoiling or wasting. So here there are three ways of conserving energy. Ways of conserving energy are ways of conserving energy are, one, we are going to look at three ways. One of them is what we call as using energy efficient devices. Using energy efficient devices. And then number B, we are going to look at using energy sparingly. Using energy sparingly. Using energy sparingly. And then number C, when you are checking on energy conservation, we check on what we call as using renewable energy. Using renewable energy. Using renewable energy. So first of all, today we are going to start on what we call as using energy efficient devices. Using energy efficient devices. Efficient devices. When you are talking about using energy efficient devices, there are two ways. One of them is, okay, what are these energy efficient devices? These are equipment or items that when you are using them, either in cooking or doing another work by using energy, they save the energy instead of wasting. Example, we have what we call as, so examples of these devices. Devices are improved jiko, and then we have what we call the constructed cooker. But many times people tend to use what we call improved jiko because this one saves a lot of energy, therefore not spoiling. But if we can move ahead, remember this part here, it has been brought in exam many times, like in KCP under improved jiko here, when you are using improved jiko, has been brought in KCP, like in 2016, number 33 KCP question was about which part of the improved jiko helps to conserve energy. Same question under the improved jiko in KCP has been brought in KCP 2012, number 27. Again, you'll find the same question being repeated under improved jiko. The same question again has been brought in KCP 2009, number 26. So let us check so that we finish the whole part. In case it comes in exam this year, you'll have no any problem. So improved GCO. And improved GCO, it looks like this. So that one is an improved GCO, whereby it has this part. This part here, we call it as door. Then this part here is V-shaped. V-shaped part. This part here is small space. Small space for charcoal. Small space for placing charcoal. Then inside here, okay, this part here is the clay lining. Clay lining. To start with, this improved GCO, it saves energy majorly by the use of the clay lining. Remember, clay soil or clay is a poor conductor of heat. Therefore, once you place here charcoal, the charcoal will burn without that heat going away through what you call radiation. Therefore, how does an improved GCO save energy in other ways? One, as I said, first of all, clay lining here saves energy through prevention of loss of energy through radiation. Then V-shaped part of this GCO is V-shaped or wedge-shaped. This one assists to collect the charcoal together. When the charcoal are burning or is burning, it will be just brought down without you shaking. Therefore, the problem of shaking is not now there. Then there is this small space here. The small space conserves energy by using a small amount of charcoal. Therefore, we can say small space assists to conserve the forest. There is also what we call the door. This door here is to regulate the burning rate. Therefore, we can write down and say a clay lining conserves energy. Clay lining conserves energy by preventing heat loss. Preventing heat loss through radiation process. So that's how the clay lining assists in conserving energy. Number two, we have the V-shaped part. V-shaped part help to collect or to bring together charcoal, help to collect the burning charcoal together, burning charcoal together. Also, there is this part we call as the small door, this vent or door here. That one is there to regulate burning. Small door or a vent if you want, regulate burning rate. Regulate burning rate. For instance, if you want this burning to go on very fast, what do? You open the door so that air can enter and burning happens very fast, therefore giving more heat. But if you want to reduce the burning rate of the charcoal, you close so that the burning reduces. Next one, we have the small space. Small space. Small space for charcoal help to conserve the forest. Help to conserve the forest by using less charcoal. using less charcoal. So those are the ways how the improved GECO can assist in conserving energy. However, although this one is a good device to use, it has some advantages. The way I've said, one, it conserves energy and can also conserve the forest. However, it has some disadvantages. What are some of the disadvantages of this improved GECO? Some of the disadvantages of improved GECO. Some of the disadvantages of improved GECO. Disadvantages of improved GECO. Disadvantages of improved GECO. So, one, this GECO is very expensive to make. Is very expensive to make or construct, expensive to construct. Two, it's very delicate. Once somebody will play around with it, it can easily break. So it's very delicate. So it requires some much care when you are holding or using. Very delicate. That is, can break easily. Can easily break. Number three, this improved GECO, it is expensive to buy. Is expensive to buy. You may use more money to buy or to purchase compared to other types of GECOs. Expensive to buy. So those are some of the disadvantages of improved GECO. Let's go to next one. This was number Roman 1, using energy saving device. We go to Roman 2, about using energy sparingly. Using energy sparingly. Using energy sparingly. Using energy sparingly. So what is the using energy sparingly? This one, it means you use energy with the care, without wastage. Little. For example, if you are boiling water, you make sure that you boil just enough water, not more, that can be wasted. So examples of using energy sparingly. So examples are, one, walk in short distances. Walk in short distances. For example, if you are moving from the house to the nearby market to buy some small things like vegetable or maybe milk or bread, there's no need of you boarding a car or using a motorbike. Instead, you need to walk. That one, you are saving energy. Next one, you switch off the lights. If no one is using that room, for example, at night, if nobody is using the light, you switch off to conserve that energy. So switch off energy, switch off lights if not in use. Not in use. Also, we can use energy sparingly by, you can use energy sparingly by using vehicle or machine that use less fuel. For example, motorbike, using less fuel, consuming machines for transport. Like motorbikes, because a motorbike will consume very little fuel when you are using, instead of using a car. Next one, you can use energy sparingly by cooling the food before storing in a fridge. Because remember, a fridge is there to keep food cool and conserve. But now, if you keep that food when it's still hot, the fridge is going to use more electricity to cool it before it can now conserve. Therefore, you let the food to cool, then you put in the fridge. That way you are using energy sparingly. Next one, we can also use energy sparingly by cycling in some distances. Use of bicycles. Use of bicycles instead of cars. Instead of cars. You can also use energy sparingly by the government renovating and improving the road network. Renovation and improvement. Renovation and improvement. Improvement of road network by the government. Network by the government. So all those are the ways you can use energy sparingly. We can also use energy sparingly by boiling just enough water. By boiling, if you are boiling water, just boil enough water. By boiling just enough water, so that you don't boil a lot of water that is going to consume a lot of energy, and yet you are not going to use all of it. So just boil enough that can be used. So those are the ways you can conserve energy by using energy sparingly. We are going to Roman 3, which is now known as another way of conserving energy is using of renewable source of energy. Using renewable source of energy. Using renewable source of energy. So when you talk of renewable, it's meaning the type of energy you use and can be renewed, can be reused, can be recycled. That's what you call renewable. This one also can be called as using non-exhaustible. Using non-exhaustible source of energy. So we can write here some of these. I've said that using renewable energy, which means the type of energy that can be reused or can be recycled. So we can say these are sources of energy that can be reused or recycled. Reused or recycled. That's what you call renewable source of energy. It is also called non-exhaustible. Exhaustible source of energy. However, the type of energy that once you have used, you cannot use it again, that one is known as non-renewable. But the one that you can use and use for some time until you reuse for many times, that's now we call renewable. So examples of renewable sources of energy, examples of renewable sources of energy, There are many of them. One, we have solar energy. Solar energy. When you talk of solar energy here, it means energy from the sun. And that is now light or heat. This one here, solar energy, can be used in cooking. We can also use this type of energy from the sun in drying, for example, cereals or clothes, in cooking, in drying cereals, clothes, etc. We can also use this type of energy from the sun for pumping water. So all these are the types of energy we can use from. So we have that in cooking, in drying cereals, clothes, or even in warming. In warming or heating if you want. Warming or heating. Then under the same part of example of renewable source of energy, we also have what we call as energy from animals. Energy from animals, that's number 2. Energy from animals. Energy from animals. When I talk of energy from animals here, I mean, for example, if you are using cow dung from a cow or from any animal, then that one can be used to make 2 things. One, we can use cow dung to make biogas, to make what we call biogas. And instead of using now natural fuel, we use biogas to save them. So that one is another example. Energy from animals, e.g. making biogas from animal dung. 2, we can also make charcoal balls from cow dung. Making charcoal balls, from animal dung. So those are the ways we can use energy from animals. Then number 3, we can also use energy under renewable from wind. Wind energy. Wind energy here is very, very important. Like many countries in the world, they make use of wind to produce energy. Because some of them maybe they are not connected to hydro or maybe on nuclear power plants. Instead, they use what we call wind energy. So this one here is used in pumping water from the well or river. You can use this one, this wind energy, to pump water from a well or from a river to the farm for irrigation or farming. Next one, we can also use wind energy when you are producing electricity. To produce electricity. So those are the ways we can use wind energy. Then remember, this part we are dealing with what we call as using renewable sources of energy has been brought in KCP many times. Like last year, 2019, question 14 was coming from this part, which said, which of the following are the sources of renewable source of energy? Question 14, 2019. The same part again, we had a question in KCP 2016, number 34. 2016, number 34, we had a question on this part in KCP. Likewise, we had a question on 2015. 2015 from the same part, number 39. We had that question about energy renewable or uses of renewable source of energy. Apart from renewable, as I said, we also have what we call as non-renewable. So let's look at what we call as examples of non-renewable renewable energy. Non-renewable energy. When you talk of example of non-renewable here, is the type of energy when you are using, you can no longer make use of it again. Once you have used, that's the end of it. Very good example of this one, we have the three of them, examples of non-renewable energy. There are three. One is the natural gas, the one many people use in cooking in the houses, like in cities or towns. Many people use what you call gas cooker. That's they're using natural gas. Number two is including what you call as coal. Coal is a black material which is extracted or mined from the ground for using as energy. Then number three is what you call as using of petroleum products. When you talk about petroleum products here, we mean things like petrol, diesel, kerosene. So I'll write down here very fast. So we have examples of non-renewable energy. There are three. Okay, Sasa, thank you. So examples of non-renewable energy, there are three. These are three. One, we have what we call as use of coal. Coal is an example of non-renewable energy. Then number two, we have what we call as use of natural gas. Use of natural gas, which we use in gas cookers for cooking. Then number three, we have what we call as use of petroleum products. Use of petroleum products. When I talk about petroleum products here, I mean things like kerosene. We have kerosene. That one is under fuel. Two, we have diesel, which we use in cars and other machines. Number three, we have what we call petrol, which are used mostly in cars. Then four, we have oil. All of these are examples of petroleum products. Therefore, what am I saying? Examples of non-renewable energy, we have one, use of coal, use of natural gas, use of petroleum products, which are kerosene, diesel, petrol, and oil. Then from there, class, we also learn about, what did we learn today before we go to that one? We have learned today that one, ways of conserving energy are three, which are using energy-saving devices. We also learned about using renewable source of energy and also using energy sparingly. So those are the examples of conservation of energy. As I've said, it has been brought to KCP, like 2010, we had a question on KCP 2010, number 28, which was about which of the following is the best way of conserving energy. Still, that part is here. So this topic, as we are covering, is very important from class 8, as I said the other time. Like since 2009 up to 2019, we have had 15 questions. So that's the end of our lesson today. I wish you well. And that was presented by Teacher Vitalis Makanda. Nice time.